In the final days of Mars, the enemies of the Horde had chosen to consume the very energy of the planet itself. We attempted to stop them, of course, but we failed. The atmosphere of the planet itself was ripped away during our struggle, and the planet threw me wild. Many members of the Horde were tossed far, far away. Myself, I just spun out. At this time, my name was not Tal. I was Tarasus, the musician, the patron of love and violence. But those days were no more already at this point. When I died, the planet died. Or rather, when the planet died, I died. Spun off into space. I did the only thing I could. I began singing. I began pumping music from every ounce of myself through my ship, if you would call it that. Through... You guys call them Merkaba? Merkaba? Something like that is what the name... Those things were real. The rest of that story, you guys don't have that quite right. But the Merkaba was real. I'm flying off in my Merkaba, and they were powered by music. So I start singing. Finally, someone answers. And I'm drawn to the music, and it pulls me forward. I'm trying to land, but I'm too big. I'm too much. Something is reaching up, pulling me in, and I'm trying to go. I have to go somewhere. It's taking me down in, but I'm so much bigger than it. That as I bring my energy down, I don't just get pulled by her, I merge with her. And we began rising up. As I come down, I feel leaves rising up, green. How do I describe it? I was brought into a tree. But I was the tree, and so was she. I was the branches, she was the leaves, and we sang the song that I sang. And we existed as one for a very long time. It's quite possibly the happiest I've ever been. Inside a physical body. Living. It's the most happy I've ever been living, perhaps. And it lasted a long time. I would like to tell you more about being a tree. It was nice. It was pleasant. I haven't been in a living situation like that much, especially where there was more than just me. There was the fairy that pulled me down, called me in, and she was the tree as well. We were the tree, not just I. There was no I, there was a we. We were the tree, but we felt each other. We moved against each other inside the tree. Birds lived in our branches. A small creature, the first of the children, perhaps, named Luenga, had taken up to live in the small hole that had formed in our base. It was good. It was very good. But I was not the only one who died. I was not the only soul looking for a place to be reborn. Others fell. Not all members of the Horde. In fact, mostly the others. The ones that ate up Mars And of course, just the people themselves, their souls had to go somewhere. And they began being born not amongst the Faerie, which were already here, and I am actually part of, nor amongst the dragons or the elves, but rather your souls began to inhabit what I would call monkeys. Primates, I believe you would call them, and began evolving forward in these forms, trying to recreate what it was that they had on Mars. And from this, not entirely from this, but from this and other things that happened, we got a race of what we would now call humans. And one day, as I'm sitting, being, me and my love, in our tree, they chose to come and cut us down. Time moves much slower when you're a tree. There's not much you can do when someone decides to cut you down. To me, it happened so fast. To us. It happened so fast, I wasn't even aware that I was dead until the tree had fell. But I'd been in that tree a long time. Long enough to gather energy about me. In those days, it was possible for a fae or things like that to manifest without needing to climb inside of something else. Like this. I only had to climb inside of that tree because I was coming down and she was going up, and we mingled and we became a tree. So, the tree falls, and I'm standing there looking at myself, fallen on the ground. There had been a hat that someone had thrown in the tree. And the birds were gone. Flown away when the tree fell. But I walked forward. I stepped forward to retrieve the hat. And at that moment, I very much wanted to sing in the voice of Tarasus, to punish them for cutting me, for taking away my happiness. But when I held the hat in my hand and turned to see the stump, there was my savior, the one who had reached up to me. She was standing on our stump, crying. That is the moment I was no longer Tarasus. And that is all I will say for now. We will continue later.